All right. Hello. Good afternoon. Just turning my heat off in here because it got very cold. It was 90 degrees on Thursday, and here it is Saturday, and it's like 49 degrees. So that's Central Virginia for you. All right, but I wanted to jump back on this afternoon once I was done with all of my appointments and all of my filing and all of the work that I had to do. And I wanted to talk with you a little bit about what I believe is some required reading. There are a couple of authors that, in my opinion, they are the GOATs when it comes to dating and relationship books and information and getting educated on relationships. So I did a live earlier today where I talked about the process of doing some work around relationships, the importance of reading, watching videos, going to workshops, going to some sort of therapy or counseling. Like, it's something we all need to do around the subject of relationships, because relationships are the thing that we're going to do from birth till death. That's how important it is. And it frustrates me sometimes that people don't think it's important, and yet they keep showing up in my office. Oh, I have this problem with my mother. I have this problem with my sister. My brother and I don't get along. My dad and I don't talk. Oh, my significant other, my wife, my husband, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my fiance, and I'm just like, when are you going to do the work around having good, healthy, loving, fulfilling relationships? Like, it's time to do some work. And how about this? The most important relationship of all, the relationship with yourself. Some of you don't even like yourself. And so you are going to continue to run into all kinds of problems and struggles around relationships. And so one of my favorite books on relationships, and he wrote a lot of books, but the two that I really enjoy and these are written by David Richo, R-I-C-H-O. He wrote two books. The first one, and I have some notes here so I wouldn't forget, How to Be an Adult in Relationship. Absolute mandatory. That's an absolute mandatory read. And again, I think it's something that should be given to college students. So freshman year, sophomore year, you are given this book. You are taking a course on this book, How to Be an Adult in Relationships. The second one by him is How to Be an Adult in Love. So How to Be an Adult in Relationship covers all of the relationships, including your significant other. How to Be an Adult in Love is going to cover your intimate relationships. Okay? So if you're going to have intimate relationships with people of the same sex, opposite sex, whatever it is you're doing, you're going to read How to Be an Adult in Love. If you want to learn about how to have better relationships with everybody in your life, you're going to read How to Be an Adult in Relationship. 5 Keys to Mindful Loving. Okay? And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the basic principles of both of these books. And that is the 5 A's. The 5 A's of a loving relationship. Okay. I have my own theory. I've created my own theory. So right here, I have the 7 C's. That's something that I came up with personally. The 7 C's that you need to have and work on to have a healthy relationship. What some people don't realize is I create theories and I create processes of my own. I have my own, I've written books and I have my own advice and my own theories and things that I give to people. But the 7 C's is something that I came up with. But today we're going to talk about the 5 A's. Okay. The first A, and I got my computer pulled up because I remember the 5 A's. I just want to read what each one is about. But these are the 5 things that must be present in order for us to have healthy, loving relationships. Okay. First A is attention. And I want you to listen up. It says attention is all about being aware of yourself and others. We need to be able to listen to our partner's feelings and needs, validate their efforts, and understand their intentions. But we must also minimize distractions when you can listen fully, because focused attention helps your partner to feel like they're your priority. So focused attention is important. So many relationships are gradually eroded because phones are prioritized over conversations. Okay. And y'all know that's true. When you give someone your full attention, they feel valued, seen, and loved. So attention, healthy relationships require our attention. Okay. If we're ignoring a person, if we're acting like, they're not there, we're just two ships passing in the night, we're not giving a person attention. And that is super important. The second A is acceptance. Acceptance is being unconditionally loved for who you are, flaws and all. It's about accepting your partner with all of their feelings, quirks, and personality traits without judgment. It's about respecting the person as a whole. This enables them to feel safe enough to be who they are without any fears around feeling judged or falling short of your expectations. So acceptance, and this is a really big one for men, women too, but this is something that I teach women. Men need to feel accepted. And the reason why that is because women are constantly trying to change men. And ladies, if you're a lady watching this, please be very mindful of this. This idea that, I'm going to look for potential. I'm going to look for a man that's okay, but he could be better with my help, with my, me helping him out and giving him some tips and some tools. He could be better. No, I want you to choose a man that's already pretty good. And I want you to be with them. Like, that's it. Stop going for these men's potential or what they could be, or if they do this, if they do that, if they got a better job, made more money, if they got a haircut and all this other stuff. No, go for men that the way they are, the way they're showing up is pretty darn good. And that's what so whatever it is you got, that's what you should want. That's what you're going to be with. Okay. That's what I want you to do. Okay. But acceptance, everyone wants to feel accepted for who they are, how they're showing up. None of us is, we're still growing. We're all works in progress, but we want to feel accepted. We don't want to feel like we have to be somebody else, to be loved by that person. Oh, she said, I made the mistake of choosing men based on potential. That's a big mistake. Please don't. And here's what's interesting about that. Men, more often than not, they don't do that. Like, they pick the woman that they want to be with now. They just pick the woman they want to be with now, and they're with her. They're like, okay, right? You look good. You smell good. You're fun. They just pick that woman and they be with them. But women, like I said, we are notorious for wanting to change men, and we really need to stop that. Okay, so that's the second A. The third A is appreciation. And both men and women need to work on this. You need to work on appreciating. So feeling appreciated and respected in a relationship is vital. It's a practice we work on throughout couples therapy. This includes acknowledging what you love about your partner, especially their gifts, talents, and skills, and you voice the appreciation for acts of kindness and general thoughtfulness. If you want to deepen intimacy in your relationship, you both need to feel safe, accepted, and worthy. And appreciating each other is a fundamental non-negotiable. Don't take your partner for granted and expect to have deep intimacy. Ooh, I could go off on a tangent about that. I was just saying earlier that men, not all men, don't get it twisted, men are the kings. I just shared it with a couple that was in my office. Y'all are the kings of taking people for granted. And the reason why that is how men are wired. They're wired to compete. They're wired to win. And so they look at getting women as a game or as a competition, or I'm going to try to win her affection and her love. And once that happens, once the woman actually likes you and wants to be with you, you see her as a trophy. So if this is the trophy, you're like, oh, I got it. Yay, I'm the winner. And then you set it on a shelf, and then you go off to compete for something else. You go off to work and make more money. You go off to, play a sport or do a hobby or run a race, right? You all are very much competitive and driven by the chase, driven by, I won, I got this, yay. And then I'm going to set it on a shelf and then I don't need to do anything else with it. A lot of men do that with the women that they get. And it doesn't matter how amazing she is, doesn't matter how beautiful she is. Over time, you become regular because a man gets used to you. And especially once he has won your heart. Once you are now in love with him or you like him. All of a sudden, you get sat on a shelf and he's like, yeah, we're good, right? I mean, I'm here, right? A lot of men say that. I'm here, ain't I? When the woman says, you don't even love me. You don't even care about me. I'm here, right? That's what a lot of men say. So, fellas, appreciation is super important, okay? And same for the ladies. A lot of ladies are guilty of not appreciating their men. They will take their men for granted or, oh, that's what you're supposed to do. Whenever I hear a woman say that, when a man is saying, I do this, this, and this, and she says, that's what you're supposed to do. That's like nails on a chalkboard. Like, please don't say that. Please don't say that. I want you to appreciate. So anytime a man reminds me of what he's doing, guess what I say? I say, and I really appreciate that. That is so wonderful. That's the thing I love most about you. You are right. See? I don't undercut it. I don't dismiss it. I actually agree with him. You look at all that you're doing. You're doing so much. See? So appreciate him too. That's super important. Number 4. And this one is a huge red flag when people come into my office. This is a huge red flag that the relationship is in big trouble. The marriage is on the rocks if number 4 is lacking. And that's affection. Affection. We all need emotional and physical affection. This includes words and actions that express affection and build closeness at a physical and emotional level. Although unexpected gifts are always a nice way to show appreciation and affection, it's also about expressing how you feel with hugs, kisses, holding hands, and having a partner who speaks up for you when you're not able to. It's about being kind, considerate, thoughtful, and playful. Ask your partner what their favorite form of affection from you is. But when I see couples come into my office and they are not affectionate, they are not physically affectionate. They can't tell you the last time they made love. They can't tell you the last time they held hands, kissed. They can't tell you the last time they touched each other at all. That is a problem. That's a big problem when there is no affection between the two of you. Because think about it. This is your person. This is your romantic partner. This is the person that you should be physically affectionate with. And if you're not getting a hug or a kiss from your partner, sure, you have kids you can hug. You got your dog you can cuddle up to. You got your sister or your auntie or your mother or your father. But it's really that affection you're getting from your partner that really matters. And so there must be affection, physical, emotional affection, okay, sharing of feelings and thoughts. There must be affection, all right? And the last A is allowing, all right? This is from David Richo's book, How to Be an Adult in Love, okay? The last one is allowing. It says allowing is the 5th of the 5 A's. This is all about letting your partner be themselves and to live life in the way they want without trying to change, control, or manipulate them. By giving each other the space and time away to explore interests and friendships, you build appreciation for each other and your relationship. You're building trust and you're giving each other the support needed to be the best version of themselves. Okay? So allowing. And remember, we're going to allow our partner to be, we're going to give them space and time to have friendships and to foster relationships with their family, their children, but we're going to have healthy boundaries. So this doesn't mean that we're allowing our partner to go anywhere and do anything with anybody. We're going to have healthy boundaries, and boundaries are super important in good, healthy relationships. Okay. So these are the 5 A's. I'm going to read them again. Attention, acceptance, appreciation, affection, and allowing. And this is from David Richo's book. I'm going to put it in the note here. It is called How to Be an Adult in Love and How to Be an Adult in Relationships. These are the books that are required reading. Okay, these are the books that I'm giving my clients when they're struggling in their relationships or they're struggling in their intimate relationships. These are the things we need to know and understand so that we can have healthy communication with people. We can learn how to resolve our conflicts in a good way. We can be aware. So many people are not self-aware. Like, and then they're so defensive. Like when the person brings something to your attention that you're not aware of, you become very defensive. And it's like, okay, then how are you going to grow? If you're not aware of the thing, and when I bring it to your attention, you're defensive and you're dismissive and you're making all these excuses, how are you going to grow? So yeah, that's a part of your growth. Either you're going to acknowledge it, and I like to acknowledge it. But you know what? I also appreciate when somebody else calls it out too. So at some point, it has to be brought to your conscious awareness, because if not, you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow. But I just wanted to jump on really quickly, talk a little bit about David Richo as an author. He has a lot of amazing books. One of them is called Daring to Trust. That's for people who need to learn how to trust. People who have trust issues. That's the book that I give them. Opening Ourselves to Real Love and Intimacy. That's the Daring to Trust book. A lot of people need to read that book, especially after hurts and heartbreaks. You know, they really struggle with trusting people. Okay. Another one that I think is really, really good is a book called Triggers. Okay. How we can stop reacting and start healing. A lot of us need to read that book too, okay? Because we are not doing a thing about our triggers. We're just walking around. We're getting triggered by people or situations or circumstances. Here's the thing I'm going to assure you. The world is not going to change for your triggers. The world is not going to be different. People are not going to be different. You have to do the work. You have to figure out how to manage these triggers that you have, so that you can start healing them. That's the fastest way, is just take them away. But as I always tell people, if people love pushing your buttons, remove the buttons. Like there are no buttons to push. That's the fastest way to deal with people that like to push your buttons. Remove your buttons, because they're going to, if they see buttons, they're going to push them. Okay, but triggers, that's another really good one. And the new one that I am working on is called When Love Meets Fear. I am working on reading that now, Becoming Defenseless and Resourceful. So learning how to make decisions and make moves based on love and not fear. Most of us out here, we are moving and reacting and responding from fear. We're doing so from a place of fear, not from a place of love. And we're wondering why. Like, oh, wow, my relationships are not close. They're not intimate. They're not vulnerable. They're not, they just don't feel deep, right? Your relationships feel shallow because a lot of the things you're doing in them are based on fear and not love. And love requires vulnerability. Love requires courage and bravery. And that's a tall order, especially in today's world, because a lot of people, nope. They are not going to do the brave thing. They're not going to do the hard thing. They're like, nope, oh, well, I'm just not going to apologize. I'm going to let this relationship die. It is what it is. Nope, I'm not doing that at all. I am just, I'm not brave enough to call this person or text this person or show up or whatever. No, I'll just, oh, well, that relationship will just die. That's most people. And, real relationship, genuine, real relationship, intimate relationship, good relationships, deep relationships. They require a level of bravery and vulnerability. Like we have to be willing to put ourselves out there. And I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes it don't work out. You put yourself out there, it does not work out. And you're like, well, I tried. And here's what I will say about that. So I put myself in situations plenty of times. It didn't work out. And I'm like, okay, I can move forward knowing I did the mature thing. I did the adult thing, right? I am an adult in a relationship. I am an adult in love. And that's everything to me. I tried. I did my best. I tried. I was vulnerable. I put it all out there. I laid my hands all out there. Didn't work out, and I can move on. That's a big part of my moving on, is when I try to put, my cards on the table, doesn't work out. Okay, I tried. But it's that thought of regret, like, okay, but if I didn't, like you're always kind of wondering what would have happened if you did. So yes, I want you to be more brave. Put yourself out there. Even with people you don't know. Like if you're going on a first date, be vulnerable. Be vulnerable. Put yourself out there. And y'all know what I mean. Be appropriately vulnerable. Don't spill your guts all over the floor. Don't tell people stuff that, on a first date they haven't earned the right to hear. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about be vulnerable in like sharing something that's personal or, be appropriately vulnerable. Okay? More people need to do that. Because the truth is, right now in 2023, there are more emotionally unavailable people than ever. Like I've never seen so many hurt, wounded, broken, emotionally unavailable, non-vulnerable people. It's like mind-boggling. I'm like, wow. It's no wonder why relationships are so shallow and so fragile because they're not strong. They're not brave. They're not willing to put themselves out there. So put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. What's the worst that could happen? Right? If there's no money involved, so here's my train of thought. If there's no money involved, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. Why not? There's no money involved. The only thing that's involved is, oh, okay, well, that didn't work out. That person didn't like me, or that person, wasn't genuine. That person wasn't available emotionally. Okay, that's it. And I walk away having learned something even still. So you got to put yourself out there. You got to be brave. You got to be strong. Okay. You're not going to win or have big wins until you do. You got to be willing to put yourself out there. All right. I hope this was helpful. I'm actually going to save this, not to subscribers only, because I didn't save this morning's live to subscribers only. I'm going to save this for everyone because I do feel like there are folks out there on my platform that could really benefit from this knowledge. So I'm just going to save it in general. And I also need to repost it to YouTube. So for some reason, it won't let me repost when I save it to subscribers. But I hope this was helpful. Pick up a copy of David Richo's book, How to Be an Adult in Love, if you're interested in improving your romantic relationships. And if you want to improve your relationships with everybody, How to Be an Adult in Relationship. Those are the two books. I'm going to put them in the below so you can see the two titles of the books. And I hope you have a great afternoon. I am headed out to the grocery store. We are having family movie night as we always do on Saturday night, unless I have an event or something to go to. So we're having family movie night tonight, y'all. And I'm making chicken tacos and chicken quesadillas and taquitos and my famous Spanish rice. So I'm going to head to the grocery store now, pick up the last little things we need for dinner tonight. And I'm in for the night because it's cold. I don't have anything going on. I need to figure out whose turn it is to pick the movie and what movie they're going to pick. But yeah, I got a fun night planned with my kids and their friends. And yeah, it's going to be a good night. So I hope you all have a great rest of your Saturday. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, stay open to love.